Bonjour, Émilie Talpin, OM System Ambassador in the US. Do you have your OM-3? Do you want to set it up? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you a few things that I like to change straight away in the menu when I get a new OM System camera. So let's get started. So first of all, congratulations. If you just got your OM-3 this week, you're gonna have so much fun. And if you are looking in maybe in the future getting this camera, then this can be useful. But the setting that I'm changing right now on my OM-3, that can also be applied to your other OM system cameras for most of them. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press on that menu button right here. I love that the menu button now, everything is accessible with my left thumb. I love that. So if I click on that menu button, the first menu you have is the camera one. The custom mode is one mode that I'm going to use a lot when I start programming my C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5, because now we have 5 custom mode. But I'm not going to talk about my custom modes right now. If you are actually interested in my custom modes, they're very similar to the OM1 Mark II, but because the OM3 has less button, but the CP button is right here and I can have access to all the computational technology. I made a new cheat sheet, so if you're interested, I'm going to put the link in the comment. You can go and buy it. It's only $10 and hopefully that will help you. I'll talk about some of my settings in future videos for bird photography, wildlife, landscape, night photography when I do specific video on those, because otherwise I feel like this video is gonna go on for hours and hours. So let's just get straight to the point and go into the first thing that I like to change when I get my camera is, first of all, to navigate from one menu to another. You're just gonna go and navigate using the front dial. So here I'm gonna go straight into the cog. I'm gonna go down, not on the button settings. I could do button settings here, but I actually use button setting by pressing the OK and then going straight into the cog, and that's the button function is right here. That's how I reprogram all the buttons on my camera. But sure, you can also do it on the menu, but that's not usually how I do it. So I'm gonna go in the dial settings, I'm gonna press on OK, and then I'm gonna go in the dial function just on the first one, on the camera one. I'm gonna press OK. I shoot in manual mode, so I'm just gonna go down, press on the M/B for bulb, and I'm gonna press on OK. And what I have done here is that instead of doing the aperture here, I'm going to change it to the ISO button, and then I'm going to keep the shutter speed here. Why do I change this for the ISO button? Is that I'm changing my ISO and my shutter speed way more often than I'm changing my aperture. So if I need to change my aperture, what I do is I'm going to press the OK, and then I'm going to change the aperture through the super control panel. That's kind of my favorite way to do it when I'm doing bird photography, when I'm doing wildlife photography. But when I'm back to nature photography, to wildlife, to macro, then this is programmed back to aperture and programmed back to shutter speed. It's kind of strange. I'm not saying that you should all do that, but I feel like you should know that you can reprogram those two dials to what make the most sense for you so that you are more efficient. So this is how you find it. Make sure that when you're reprogramming, so here I'm going to turn the front dial and I'm going to move it to the ISO. And here I'm going to keep the shutter. I'm going to continue with the arrow pad. And here again, I'm going to move it to the ISO. And then I keep the shutter. And then I'm going to press on OK to set it up. And that's it. Make sure you're pressing on that OK and make sure that you're doing it for the 1 and 2. This is how if you're switching from 1 and 2, then you can also have those two buttons programmed differently. Personally, I don't, but know that it is also an option. Now, the second thing that I like to change is again in the cog, menu 6, and I'm going to go on 4, information. So here with the back dial, I can move from 1, 2, 3, 4. And on information, I'm going to go down to info settings. I'm going to press on OK. And here you will have access to 3 different menu in a way. You have image only and you have information 1, 2, and 3. You see that information 1 is graded. It just means that if I'm half pressing my shutter and let's say that I'm looking at a scene, then I am using the information 1 menu here. But if you press on information, that's the menu 2, and here it's just the image that I'm showing you. So just a little trick to know. So I'm going back to show you in information settings, and information 1, I'm gonna go and click on the arrow, and on this one I just want the highlight and shadows on. That's it. Now that's really how I shoot. I don't use my histogram much because I love that with the highlight and shadow, that's the only thing I can see on my screen. I can see the orange if it's overexposed and the blue if it's underexposed. I mean, it's a game changer because if I'm out in the field, then if I look at my histogram, which actually I have set up, my information 2 is set up, as you can see right here, for the histogram, for the highlight and shadow, and for the lever. Here, when I'm taking a photo, now that I'm setting the information the way I want them, I'm going to go from just image with no information to having my camera telling me if I'm blowing up my highlight or my shadows, to my histogram on the left, to my lever. But again, my histogram, look at that. I know that I'm blowing up some highlights, but I don't know where they are on my histogram. Here on my screen, because they are in orange, I know exactly where I'm losing all the information. So this is a great tool. That is one thing that I do on all my OM system camera when I get them. Now, another thing that I like to change is if I'm going in the little tool, so front dial, I turn it, and then I'm gonna go into information record, so the second menu. I'm gonna go down to the copyright info. I'm gonna click OK, and here I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna type my artist name, and I want to make sure that in the copyright name, I'm going to have at Émilie Talpin 2025. Yes, you could do that in Lightroom, but why not doing it straight in camera, you know? So now you have the copyright that is on all your photo. So that is one thing that I like to do again when I get a new camera. And with this camera, I also did something in the menu 4, which is the film menu, and I went into the one basic setting, image quality. I went down to the video codec. I clicked on OK, and I moved from H.264 to H.265. Why? Because you are gonna get a better quality when filming. One little thing to know is that if you're using this video codec, the better one, you will not be able. So if I go in the film mode with this dial and I click on OK, then you see my only two options are OM log 400 and the HLG. So you cannot use the new cinema mode that OM system just released. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But for all my videos, when I'm doing my review and I'm using the OM-3, I want the best quality for my headshot. So I'm going to use this codec instead of a lower quality one. So those are the 4 things that I changed straight away when I got my OM-3. And if you want to go and shoot straight away, then remember your best friend if you're starting with an OM system camera is that OK button. So you want to go and press the OK button, and here you have access to so much information. So I'm going to put myself in manual mode and I'm going to click on OK. And let's just say that I'm going to do bird photography. I'm just going to start at 1250. My f-stop, I'm going to go down to f4.5 because that's what I can do if I'm carrying my 150-400. Maybe you've seen in my Wednesday video, I did take this lens with the OM-3 and I had no problem. And then for the ISO, I'm going to probably go up. It's a little bit cloudy right now, so 1250, but those are settings that I'm going to readjust in the field. And then I'm going to set it on 1 point. Why? Because I'm on a 1 right here. So I'm just going to do a 1 point. I'm going to do muted, so 4. Why? Because it's best if you're editing in Lightroom. It gives you a lot more room. And then I'm not going to be on MF. I'm going to be on CAF. And then I'm probably going to do a silent sequential. I'm going to do the bird detection here, wide auto balance. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm shooting in LSF plus RAW. So I have JPEG and RAW. That's something new with this camera. I've been really enjoying those JPEG images. So I've started doing more JPEG and RAW, and it really enables me to get a JPEG straight away and then put it on social media. So just something that I really enjoy. And that's it. That's all I'm going to change. But again, because I like to reprogram all the buttons, I'm going to go on that little cog. I'm going to press OK. And here for my bird photography, I'm going to reprogram the FN button. So this little button right here for peaking. So if I press on it, now I can see what is in focus. I'm going to switch the recording button for bird selection. I'm going to switch this little button right here for focus bracketing, because why not? Because it's something that I don't use very often, but from time to time, if I'm not 100% sure that I'm gonna get the shot sharp and I'm in right focus, then I'm gonna use the bracketing and it might help me get the right focus. It doesn't happen very often, but from time to time it's nice to have. And then I'm gonna keep the CP button and the AF fun. I don't use the back button focus anymore. So my AF fun is for subject detection. So if I need to get out of subject detection, I can just press on the AF on and get out of the bird detection and then focus on my own. And then the LF, I kept on AF area select. And that's it. That's my setting for bird photography. But remember, I told you that I had a single focus. And if you are using the bird detection, you don't want that. But there is a reason why I put a single point. That's because here, I'm going to switch to number 2. I'm going to press on OK. And then my focus point are going to be on all focus point. So now, just by moving this little lever from 1 to 2, I can switch from all to a single point. So it's something quite useful if my camera is hunting in the field and is having a hard time locating my subject. I might just help my camera a little bit and switch to a 1-point focus. But most of the time, I'm on lever 2 and it works very, very well. The bird detection is really good. And let's say that you want to save those settings and save them to a C1 location. All you have to do, so remember, you need to be in M with all those settings, and then you're going to go into menu. You're going to go into your camera one, click on custom mode. So click on OK, and then C1, maybe that's what you want program as your bird basic setup. So you're going to click on OK, and then you're going to go down and click on assign and click on OK, and set should be selected. Just click on OK, and here you go. If you switch to C1 and press on OK, then magic, all your settings have been saved. And that's a great way to switch super fast in the field to bird photography. So let's say I'm doing street photography in M, and all of a sudden I see an eagle, bloop, see one, and I'm ready with the right setting to take my photo. I'm just gonna play a little bit with my ISO and my shutter speed. Right here, those two dials, super easy. I'm not gonna miss my shot. So I hope this video was helpful, and that you will consider to make some of the changes that I made on my OM-3, or at least you know how to make them, because the way I shoot might not be the way that you should shoot. So just take everything with a grain of salt, try it, see if you like it, and then go back to the original if you think that this ISO here, it's kind of strange. But you might want to click on the FN and transform the FN as the ISO, and then being able to control the ISO that way. That's another option. So just play with this camera, see what you're using the most, see what button you need, then feel free to go and check my cheat sheet. I want to thank all of you who got the OM1 Mark II cheat sheet. I know they've been quite popular, so thank you so much. Your contribution to those cheat sheets really helped the channel, so I really appreciate that. And I've got some pretty good reviews on it, so thank you to all of you who took the time to post those reviews. And I hope that you enjoyed the OM-3 cheat sheets as much as you enjoyed the OM-1 Mark II. I want to thank you again for all your support. If you're not a subscriber, well, it's never too late. Click on the subscribe button, click on the like, and click on the bell so you know when my videos are coming out. And until then, happy shooting. I hope you're having a great time. Let me know in the comments how you enjoying your OM-3, what you reprogram, because I'm sure there are things that I recommended that might be different. Maybe some of you might want to mention the fact that you can have your own My Menu. And I have a couple of videos on how to program my menus, and I might do that. I might show you what is on my menu for my OM-3 in a future video. So if you have an interest for this, let me know, and I'll be happy to show you how to do that on your camera, and also what I have on my OM-3 for my menus. And well, until then, have a great weekend, happy shooting, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.